Welcome back to Defluenced. I'm Uncle Bonehead, and this is
Alan Taylor, also known as Cryptocracy.
Even though I can't remember which one you're using at the time.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You know, I have 3 accounts because I lost the keys to the first 2. One was by accident, and one was just sheer stupidity. So I created one under my real name, and and that's the one I'm using now.
It happens. I just happened to, was typing in the @ and that was the one that popped up. And I was like, oh, that's it. Boom.
No problem. No harm done.
What we're going to do, we're going to try to keep this shorter instead of our hour-long rants that we do. We're going to try to keep this shorter and do only like 20 to 30 minutes. So this is basically our review of Hive as a social media platform. I'm working on a spreadsheet that I'm going to make public to everybody of all the platforms that we go through. Hive we're doing mainly because it's the one that we're both most familiar with. And me personally, I think it's the one that checks off the boxes on everything for Web3 and being decentralized social media.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I was going to say another thing is I think we both agree that Hive is probably the pinnacle currently of what Web3 social is all about, and I really like how it's decentralized. So we'll get into some of the specifics about what we like here in just a minute. But we thought we'd start with Hive, but even though it wasn't the first platform to launch as a decentralized social media platform, but we feel like it's the leading the charge right now.
Yeah, it's who was it? One of the Hive front ends that hangs out on Twitter posted a question about what is your best way to talk about Hive. And I answered, saying, hey, we started a podcast, talked about Defluenced, and said, we're going to it's going to end up being everything that we do reviews on is going to end up getting compared to Hive, because Hive is the only one out there that hits everything, and I'm just being honest. I might be biased, but
when you look at our criteria, what we laid out last week, Hive comes the closest to meeting all of those. I think it meets all of those criteria. There could be other criteria that we missed, but we had a pretty good list, and Hive checks out all of those boxes. Not all of the decentralized social media platforms do, but Hive does. And, we encourage our readers to come up with their own criteria. So if you think we're missing something, add to the list.
Yeah, not just the readers, the viewers and listeners too.
Yeah, sorry, I say readers because I do a lot of blogging and writing, so that's a natural thing.
I had to say it. I had to say it because I'm a dork.
That's all right. That's all right. We're all allowed to be boneheads once in a while.
That's right.
Okay, you want to go first? What do you like about Hive? What's your top thing on the list?
What I like about it is how decentralized it is. It's not just the text, because the text is all stored on the blockchain. But most of the front ends, if not all of them, use IPFS for the videos and pictures and the images.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
I guess 3Speak.
And I do like
yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, I do like the decentralization aspect of it as well. That's right at the top of my list. And so and right along with that is, just as you mentioned, all of the front end interfaces allow you to interact with the blockchain. So you don't have to go to Hive.blog to create a post. You can do that in ecency or Leo Finance, and there are several other front end interfaces that you can use. And whatever it is you're posting, whether it's a video, a blog post, an image, whatever, it all goes right onto the blockchain, and you can see it at Hive.blog as well as wherever you're posting from on all of the interfaces. They all interact, but you don't have to go to one place to post. So if one is down, for instance, then you can always access it from another one.
Right. Another main thing I like about Hive is there's no company backing it. It's not owned by anybody. It's owned by the people, the users. It's just, to me, it's the most grassroots thing that you can get.
Yeah, and along with that is the ability to present proposals to the community and have those proposals voted on by the community, and the proposals that get approval from the community are funded through the Hive Fund, and so it's not like a company backing. It's a community. It's a community-owned business essentially.
Sorry, the cat.
Oh, just providing her input. That's all.
Yeah,
yeah. She's agreeing with us.
Meow, meow. Another thing that I really like is the fact that it is blockchain. I like the idea of the Fediverse. Don't get me wrong. It's all good and dandy, but the only way the Fediverse is actually decentralized is if everybody self-hosts their own instance.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do that on Hive.
Right, because it's on a blockchain.
Yep.
And the way Hive is set up, it uses the delegated proof of stake consensus mechanism. So all of the members, anyone on Hive, can vote for witnesses, up to 30 witnesses. And so you're not just voting for one, you're voting for multiple. And those witnesses validate the transactions on the blockchain. It's an important part of the process.
Yes, it is. What's another one you like?
I like that the ecosystem is not just based on one or two different applications. There are over 100 decentralized apps in the entire ecosystem, and that includes the front-end interfaces like ecency and Leo Finance, but it also includes, games like Splinterlands. It includes NFT applications. It includes, sports betting. It includes other social media projects, like video and 3Speak and, travel blogs and travel social media. So there are a lot of different applications, and you can interact with one or a few or all of them.
You got a visitor. Don't look.
Oh, yeah. My other half.
There you go.
Yeah, so you got a lot of different applications. That includes block explorers. There's more than one block explorer. So, you can go to any of those block explorers and other metrics. There are other ways of, looking at stats on the blockchain. You just go to whichever one you prefer, and you can do a little exploring and look at the metrics on the blockchain and how it's working.
Right. Another thing that I really like is that it can't block you or it can't delete you. I mean,
exactly.
I got into it with somebody on Twitter. Imagine that. About somebody posted a headline about Rumble creating the uncensorable site or something like that. And I responded that that's not true. That's a misleading headline, because they can and they will. It's in their terms of service. And
a lot of people don't understand. If a platform, let's say like Gab or Rumble or Parler or any of them say they are censorship free or censorship resistant, ask if they are on a blockchain, and ask if their content interface is immutable. And what that means is it cannot be changed, it cannot be altered, it cannot be deleted. It's not that we don't want to, we cannot delete your content. And on Hive, after just a few seconds, once you post that comment or the content, then that content is embedded in the blockchain. You can't take it back.
Yep.
You can't even take it back, let alone can someone else.
The only thing that can be done is that the individual front ends can block your content from showing on their front end. That's not the same thing. That's not being deleted.
It's still on the blockchain. It just can't be seen on that particular interface.
Right.
So if Leo Finance blocks you, for instance, delete your content, no one can see it on Leo Finance. But if they go to your blog on the blockchain at Hive.blog, they will still see that content.
Yep. As well, this dude's like, he screenshotted ecency's terms of service because I simp for ecency all the time. And he's like, well, so that can still happen to you too on the one you simp for. I'm like, that's not the same thing. So that says right there, if you're stupid, ecency will block you from showing on ecency. That doesn't change it from the blockchain. I've still got my Uncle Bonehead.xyz, my own front end. You could still see my content on my website whenever. It can never be blocked. Only way it can be blocked is if they take the server.
If you're really concerned about that, you can create your own front end.
Yep.
Anyone can do that. So I can create alantaylor.com, tie it into the blockchain. I can do all my blog posts on my domain that I own, that I control, make it show up on the blockchain. Nobody can delete that.
Yep. Bambuka made that Super Hive. That's exactly what that does. That's what runs my site.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. Another thing I like is the Hive Engine. This is a robust marketplace of tokens. People can create their own tokens on the blockchain. Right now, there are, I don't know, a couple of thousand different tokens. And you can exchange, you can exchange those tokens, trade those tokens. I think that adds a lot of value and utility to the blockchain. You're not just stuck with Hive. You can trade Leo, you can trade bees, you can trade there's a token called sex, a lot of different tokens, and they all do something different. Some of them are used for tipping, and some of them are used for a utility in a game or whatever. But they're created on the Hive Engine, and anyone can go up and create a token.
Yeah, I've been wanting to trade my own, but it's a family-friendly show, so I'm not going to talk about what it is.
Okay.
That's well, you can go
you can go create the Bonehead token if you want to.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So
another thing that I like the most is that it's like I tried DLive one time, and you couldn't withdraw anything that you earned on DLive. I think you still can't, but you have to get to like some ungodly amount of number and stream like 8 hours a day before they let you power down and take and cash out. But you can do it whenever you want. It takes a little bit of time to power down, but at least it lets you take your stuff. It's real.
And one of the things that I really appreciate about the Hive blockchain and the power down process is if you spend a few years building up your Hive power to, let's say, $100,000, you can't just take it all out at once. Nope. You can't just go boom, I'm taking this whole thing and I'm going. And the reason for that is because if a lot of people did that at the same time, it would just crash the economy. Just like if you know, 1 million people took out, you know, $1 million from of U.S. dollars out of the U.S. economy at the same time, just like that, it would just crash the economy. So you don't want to do that. So yeah, you allow people to take out their Hive power and liquidate their Hive power, turn it into Hive, and move it to an exchange, take it out of the ecosystem, turn it into cash if you want to, or whatever. But you do it through a process, and it takes 13 weeks. And all you gotta do is click a button, and you start the process, and it takes out 1/13 of whatever you have in your Hive. So if you got $1 million, you take out 1/13 of that, which would be just a little less than 100,000 each week until the process is done. And then another click of the button, you can stop it at any time. So if you just want a payout one time, you turn it on. Next week, you turn it off. Pretty simple process, but it's a measured approach to allowing you to have access to your funds, which you earned on the blockchain, and to do it in such a way that it doesn't crash the economy. I really like that.
Sorry, had a squirrel. I got distracted. Notification popped up.
Well, that's just nuts.
I'm telling you.
Just a segue from that, though, I also appreciate that you can stake your Hive and save your Hive-backed dollars, HBD. So Hive has two different native cryptocurrencies. There's Hive, and then there's Hive-backed dollars, and you can save your HBD and earn interest. It's like a savings account. And right now the going rate is 20% APY, 20% per year interest. And, you know, that rate is set by the witnesses, which everyone votes for. So it's kind of, you know, kind of like the Republican, Democratic Republic form of governance that we have in the U.S.
HBD. I'm checking my wallet real quick.
Oh, am I rich now?
Holy shit, it is 20%. I thought it was like 10 something.
Yeah, I think they raised it a while back, but yeah, wow. It's currently 20%. So you could, if you wanted to, you could take your savings out of your bank. Let's say you had $10,000 in your savings account at your bank. You could, you can buy HBD on an exchange. There's several exchanges that do it, and I can't remember them off the top of my head, but you go to exchange that trades in HBD, buy $10,000 worth of it, put it in your HBD account there on the blockchain, and you will earn 20% interest. So at the end of the year, you've got $12,000 instead of 10. So you can use it as a savings account.
That's pretty wild. I did not realize it was that high.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty sweet feature. They didn't have that when I was on Steam a while back. They didn't have savings accounts, and so yeah, you could put your HBD in your account and let it accumulate. But I don't recall there being a savings account. I think that was a later development, maybe after the fork that Hive introduced, and then Steemit came along later and did the same thing. But that's a cool feature. I like it.
Oh yeah, that is really, really wild. I've got two more things that I really like about Hive. One is the ecosystem. You already mentioned that, but the amount of that's out there, and it seems like there's like this core set of maybe 6 or 7 dapps that are just killing it. And there's one that's coming up that's moving up the ranks really fast. That's like 2. and that's kind of like an Instagram type thing where for pictures. I haven't started putting anything on there, but I do go there quite frequently to look at everybody else's pictures because it's really cool. It's very
Yeah,
cool.
awesome. Yeah, Leo Finance also started a Twitter-like application
Mhm.
called Threads, and
Yep.
that's pretty cool. So you can write a post, for instance, on Hive.blog or ecency or Leo Finance or any of the interfaces, and then you can go to Leo Finance, click on Threads, and just write a short post that promotes it and link back to that original post,
Hmm.
and it's just another way of promoting it, and that's free.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
I,
yeah,
I
the blockchain does have another way that you can promote, or Leo Finance does at least have a way that you can promote your posts by um, buying a promotional effort. So you can make it appear on the front page of Leo Finance by just throwing in some Leo and saying, yeah, it's kind of like advertising. So I'm going to spend X amount of Leo and give this a boost.
right. I I like Threads. I think it's a really cool idea, but I'm more excited for what's supposed to be Project Blank that they keep talking about. And I guess Threads was a proof of concept. It's,
Yeah.
I guess, so. That's kind of got me excited for Project Blank. But Threads, it's for me personally. I don't see any relevance to what I do, but for other people, sure.
Yeah.
That's
Well, if you're tired of Twitter and you're on Hive, you're on the Hive blockchain, and you don't want to just throw everything out there on Twitter, Threads is a reasonable alternative. It's not as
yep.
big as Twitter. I mean, Twitter's got
Right.
millions of people, but there are other issues with Twitter. So yeah, it's not on a blockchain. It doesn't pay you for your content, and they can deplatform you at any time. So,
Hmm.
um, but you're not. That's not going to happen uh, on Leo Threads, I don't think. But at any rate, your content, even if it did happen, it would still be on the blockchain. So
Right.
it's not going to be deleted.
Oh, close that. And my last thing is the how easy it is to get on board. Some people say it's so hard to get on board, but when I joined 2 years ago, there wasn't a problem. All I had to do was I did it through email with Engrave, and I was on within 24 hours.
Oh, good, cool. Yeah. So when I joined Steam several years ago, it took me a couple of weeks doing it by email. So I'm glad to see that they've improved those systems. You can also pay $3 and get it done immediately.
Hmm.
They're through block trades or through another couple of dapps that allow you to create an account. And it's really easy if you get someone to sponsor you. So if you have a current Hive member put up that $3 for you and help you create an account, it's really super simple. There are some witnesses that do that for people that will create that account. And, if you work it out with the other party that, I'll reimburse you that $3, you can always fund your account and reimburse them the $3 or not. A lot of people really excited about Hive, and will be happy to onboard new users. So yeah, it's pretty simple. The hard part is really the transforming your thinking from Web 2 to Web 3. A lot of people are not used to being the guardians of their own security. But on the blockchain, you have these long strings of cryptographic keys that help you log in. And you really need to protect those with your life, because if you lose them, then you lose access to your account. You cannot call somebody like you can your bank and they ask you for your secret password or whatever. That doesn't happen. So
Right.
you really have to protect your keys.
Nice. So what is we're already up in 30 minutes. Just so you know.
Wow, that went fast.
Yep. Uh, so what's your last one? I know you got one more on here that I can see.
I think we exhausted them. So decentralization, we both agreed. The dapps, we got a large, robust system of the dapps. Hive Engine, staking and savings on the blockchain, and then users can vote on witnesses and proposals. And I think I brought this out.
Yeah, you did.
And then those proposals are funded through the Hive Fund. So it's a great ecosystem. I really like Hive, and I'm looking forward to playing around on it some more.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be. They're gonna have to. You're never gonna get me out of Hive. There's no way. Even if I could be downvoted to hell and back, and I'm still gonna be posting on Hive.
Yeah, man, you're gonna have to send the blockchain mafia to get me off the blockchain. So you want me off Hive? You better send somebody with an army out.
Yeah, no doubt. So that pretty much concludes it. Like I said, I'm going to put this all into a spreadsheet, and I'll make it all public so that as we go through, everybody can take a look at it. You know where to find us. We're on Hive. We're on Twitter, Defluenced.online. Anywhere free podcasts are sold. Yeah, YouTube, Rumble.
And Substack.
All the places. And Substack, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Cryptocracy, not Substack. Yeah.
What? Cryptocracy, what? Dot Substack?
Yeah, dot Substack. Yeah.
Okay.
Subscribe to my newsletter, and I'll tell you everything you need to know about Hive and decentralized social media.
That's right. The I didn't know that the Substack did the audio stuff. I found that out the other day. I was like, ooh, another outlet.
Yeah. You can create a Defluenced Substack and share share them on there. Yeah, upload them and do it right there. That's cool.
There we go. So y'all be good. We'll see you guys in next time. We have not picked the topic as of yet for episode number 4, but I'm sure we will.
It'll be another platform that we like or don't. We'll pick it apart and tell you why we like it or don't, and we'll pick that this coming week. Until then, stay defluenced.
Oh, there you go. Defluence all the things.